Welcome back to Outlaw Woodworking. Recently I got asked about the slides that I use we're in the middle of building cabinets for our small house build that we're doing. And the slides that I use are the Salice Progressive Plus. And the reason I use the Progressive Plus is they'll handle a 3/4 inch drawer. And the reason I make my own drawers is we used to buy them all the time, and that was nice, except for the drawers. When I priced out drawers, they were like $250, $300 per drawer, and I have a whole kitchen of drawers. I mean, I have probably have 30 drawers in this kitchen, so 30 drawers times $200, that would be like $6,000 just for the drawer boxes. And I can make these drawers out of some 3/4 inch pre-finished maple. And to me, they turn out just fine. Anyway, these are the Salice Progresso Plus. And I'll give you a close-up shot of these, but these things are really nice. And they're completely ratcheting. Like if you look at the side of it, and they move in tandem really nicely. And then of course they self-close at the end. But when you slam them, they'll get to that point right there, and then they'll self-close the rest of the way in. But these are Italian made, and this is really the only drawer slide that I use anymore. I'll give you a little close-up of the ratcheting. So right here you can see the rack and pinion, and I just haven't seen a better one. I feel these are about the best slide you could get. And if you want to run 3/4 inch material for your drawers, these will accommodate it. So what I thought I would do today is I thought I would demonstrate how to make a drawer for an undermount drawer for the Salice. And these drawers that I'm going to make today, you can basically you can use this drawer, make this drawer style pretty much the same for any of the undermount slides, Bloom, most of them. They'll work for that. So let me show you how I make my drawers. We'll go ahead and we have some. So the other thing is, so this is a 21 inch drawer slide, and that's what my whole kitchen is 21 inch deep. So right away you know that the sides, your first side is 20. Both of your sides are 21 inches. So you already know that dimension. And then the other dimension, so whatever your box is, so let's say your box is 24 inches on the out, or let's say 22 and a half on the inside. You would want to subtract 3/8 of an inch from that to get, and that would be the actual outside dimension of your drawer width for a 3/4 inch box. You would subtract 3/8 of an inch. And they end up pretty, they're pretty tight. They do fit though. Like these are 3/4 inch drawers. And let me see what I subtracted on these. So these were 26 3/8. 26 3/8 is the box opening. And my drawer is 26. So I basically subtracted 3/8 and it fit perfectly. So that's what we're going to do. We have a whole bunch of drawers to start making, but I thought I would demonstrate at least one drawer, how I put them together, how I make them. And we'll go ahead and we'll start out. We're going to cut. We always start out, we cut our sides because they're all going to be the same. I've got 40 of the same size to make, 10 inch high by 21. I've got 40 of those to make. And then I've got some smaller drawers, 4 3/4 by 21. I got 18 of those to make. I won't bore you with all that, but I'll get all my pieces cut, and then I'll show you how we assemble one of these undermount drawers. Right off the bat, I just I have a sawed up table saw, and I just start cutting all of the sides. And the first batch of my boxes are, the sides are 10 by 21. And actually, I have 40 of these to make, but I won't bore you with that. I'll just cut a few of them, and then basically I'm using my saw stop fence to also cut these sides, and it makes pretty quick work of them. And then basically I just double check and make sure that the dimensions are all exact, and I just keep cutting all the pieces. Once I get all the pieces pretty much cut up, it's time to router them. And I'm using a JESM router, and I basically router both the sides with a 1/2 inch groove, and then I start the front and the back pieces need to have pocket screws put in. So right here I'm drilling the pocket hole screws, or pre-drilling them, I guess you would say. And there was a lot of those pieces to do also. Now right here, once I get them routed, and then all the pocket screws pre-drilled, I then cut the backs. Now I always do the back last to make sure that it's the right size and everything's fitting properly. Now right there, I dropped that piece on the ground and actually couldn't use it because it chipped the corner off of it. So you gotta be pretty careful with this type of material. Really with any stuff you're doing. Once I know everything's gonna fit, it's time to edge band. And I basically just do the same as I do on my cabinets. I just use a hot iron, and I'm basically getting it pretty hot where I can't even touch it with my hand, and I'm pressing down pretty hard on it. And then I stack them, staggering them so that nothing's touching the edge banding. And then I basically let those cure for 10 or 15 minutes before I can trim them. Usually if you wait 10, 15 minutes, they're plenty cured, and you can start trimming them. And right here I'm using Fast Caps trim tools, and I kind of like them. They work pretty good. I can basically just do 1 or 2 swipes with the trimmer, and it leaves a really nice edge. And so you basically have 4 pieces to edge band. The front, basically it's all 4 of the tops. Once you finish all the edge banding and trimming them all, you're then ready to put your drawers together. Now watch where I'm holding my hand when I put this screw in. I've got my hand right there, like putting pressure on it, and the screwdriver bit slips off and stabs me right in the hand. Now if you've worked with screwdriver bits, you've poked yourself in the fingers many times over the years. But this particular bit, man, I don't know why, but it's got a square tip on it. It's made just for these Craig pocket screws, but it is so sharp. And that's the second injury that I've had with that thing. So now I don't even hold my hand anywhere near it anymore. I mean, so far I've when I was doing the cabinet boxes, I poked one of my fingers with that same bit, and pretty bad. And now here I poke my hand with it. But you got to keep going. So I just throw some tape on it and just motor on. But yeah, this video is definitely for entertainment purposes only. Mistakes do happen. But here's how I build these boxes. I basically have a 1/2 inch router joint, a 1/2 inch above the bottom. So the bottom of the box is a half. Look where I'm holding my hand now. I'm completely holding my hand away from anything. So anyway, yeah, live and learn. So even an old guy like me learns. Now right here, I nail the bottom 1/2 inch plywood on, and right there I had a little bit of edge banding coming up, so I put an iron on it. And then I basically wipe down everything with a little wet rag, any glue that squirts out or anything. And now here's where I put the hinges on. Now you have a left and right hinge piece that you basically screw onto the top right there. You just put one on each side right there. And then you basically just screw these down with some some Phillips number 8 screws, and I put 4 screws in each one of these, and that seems to be plenty. And then you have a little template where you drill a hole in the back. Super easy. And there you go. Anyway, so this was the first assembly drawer. You're always going to have a few little quirks in the beginning, but actually this one fit pretty nice. And I try to always make these, because this is a edge banding, I try to make the seams as best I can. But these will get some exotic wood on the front. You can see they're really quiet. I could spend a lot more time adjusting them, but right now I got about 25 more drawers to build. Anyway, that's how I build my drawers for undermount slides. And these are the Rack and Pinion Progresso Plus Salice, made in Italy. And pretty happy with them. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe, like the video, and I'll see you next time. Remember, safety is your most important thing. And I had one injury on my finger doing the boxes, doing the cabinet boxes. And then today you saw the bit slipped off and stabbed me right in the hand. And it almost came out the top. But yeah, no matter how careful you are, you can definitely get hurt. So always be as safe as you can. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Later.
There he goes, it's a working man. He's trying to make a living any way he can. And he'll break his back for $1 or $2. Oh, there ain't no shame in what he do.